Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Aviano and welcome to my GTA 6 trailer breakdown. I spent a lot of hours going over the trailer and this is everything I have found so far. If I missed something, feel free to leave a comment below to help us all out. Be sure to check out the original trailer that is linked below by Rockstar Games. Let's get started. And here we are, the opening shot of the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer number 1. Now, at first glance, this looks like Vice City, right? Yes, we know that it's Vice City. You've seen the trailer before, but there's some things here that might indicate we're looking at Port Gellhorn, one of the secondary cities in the state of Leonida. Now, Leonida being off of Ponce de Leon, and we can see that we might have more than Vice City in the actual map. I'm gonna start going frame by frame here. We got some seagulls on the left-hand side. We got a 747 up there cruising at altitude with a contrail. Looks a little low for being up at cruising altitude, but he's got a contrail coming out of the back of there, and it looks good as we start to roll along here. At the bottom, we can see we got a truck that has a boat on a trailer. Now, that's nothing new to the Grand Theft Auto franchise, but it may indicate that boating is going to be a big thing, and you'll see that later on that probably is the case. Now, just in front of him, I'm going to back this up a little bit, right there underneath the Patriot beer truck, you can see a different kind of vehicle. It kind of looks like a Isuzu or something, and it's got a back on it. Looks like tires on there and a ramp. Now, we'll see this truck later on in the trailer, and I'll point it out again. Another thing we're seeing is some newer vehicles. We've got a small little shuttle bus there, and then we have a, not a coach bus, but a normal city bus there as well. Now, in the distance on the left-hand side, going through the canal is a boat at very slow speeds, and what's really cool about it is, look, it has like a new wake effect behind it there, and that is beautiful. I love what we have seen so far of boat physics. Before we continue on, let me know in the comments below if you think this is Vice City or indeed maybe it's Port Gellhorn. We move on to the second shot here, and this is the prison fencing and the parking lot outside of it. You can see the prison parking lot with the cars and some Spanish moss of some sort on the barbed wire there as well, and wildlife and in the sky. Then we get this shot here. This is showcasing some really cool textures on her jumpsuit. This is Lucia here, and we can see ray tracing being shown off here. Global illumination, lighting, and reflections in the puddles we're going to see a little bit later on, but here we're seeing it in, we got the hair, and we've got the textured glass, and the lighting on the sides of the walls inside of the prison yard here, or the prison itself. So very cool. And flip around here. Here is Lucia, the first shot of her that we get to see. Well, now we know that Lucia is actually an inmate in this prison, and the next shot is going to be her parole officer that is talking to her. Now you'll notice the attention to detail on the hair. We've seen big strides when it comes to the quality of hair in GTA 6 so far on the trailer. Now, you'll also notice the great detail in this shot with Stephanie, I think is her name there on her nameplate there on the bottom, but has a lanyard around her neck, and it's really detailed. So very cool. You can see the little ID at the very bottom of the lanyard there, and she's writing some stuff in a folder on Lucia. And I assume this is a parole officer. I don't know what else it would really be. And then in the background, you can see we've got friends and family and pictures there in the background. And there's something right before it says, if you miss something on the wall. This next shot is kind of interesting as well because we see LD something. So maybe it's Leonida Department of something, corrections or something, LDC. I don't know what that is on her jumpsuit. But we can see on the right-hand side, you've got some family on the photo there. And then a painting behind us with a sailboat and a lake there with some mountains. So not sure what that all entails or what the location of that is, but it's a very cool thing to see. Opening shot right here. This is a big one. We can see the ocean for the first time with a catamaran yacht kind of like sailing along here. And right below us, this is the first time we've seen any animals in the trailer. And that, to me, looks like sea turtles that are having a good time down below. And we move up as it pans upward. You'll see a pod of dolphins there, a shark on the right-hand side there, and another shark. We see some jet skis hitting some waves as well. And look at the wildlife right there. Look at the pelicans flying along in a line. Beautiful opening shot here. Look at the beach. Very, very, very detailed. And we see global illumination from the ray tracing yet again on the building. As the camera pans up, you can see the detail of Vice City, and look at that drawing distance. Absolutely spectacular. And you got a lifeguard truck going down the beach as well right here. Rockstar Games presents, and here is a helicopter that's headed towards us right here. Look at that. We got a different kind of texture on the blades this time around. Looks a lot more realistic. We got a 747 up there at the top left corner with a contrail coming out of the back of it there. And on the right-hand side, we've got a Dodo seaplane that is carrying a sign that says 919. Why 69 when you can 919? Now, is this a parody of the 11 nightclub? It looks a lot like that logo. All right, the next shot is going to be some condos here along Brickell Avenue. And this one is actually the building on the right there that has the hole in the top there is actually the Brickell on the Water is the name of that condo there. But we can see some real cool details here. Left side there, you can see the kind of the crossing gate that comes down for there's possibly a little causeway or a bridge there to the left. As it pans around, we can look at the windows. Now, is this the parallax kind of fake style interiors that makes you think that there's an interior, or is this going to be an enterable building? We don't know, but that looks fantastic. You can see some birds way above overhead, and as this pans around, we can see the contrail from a 7.4 up there on the left-hand side, and there is another one, another 747 on the right-hand side, pushing out some contrails as well. Now, the airplanes seem a little low, but perhaps they were going for more of an effect than realism in this case. And also on the top, you'll see you got some yellow umbrellas there and some people along the edge of the balcony. That's a really cool detail. Seeing people on the balconies of these condos is going to be absolutely wild. Now, this shot is an airboat scene during sunset or sunrise. Hard to say, but we can see, indeed, there are airboats in GTA 6, and it looks amazing. Look at the wildlife here, losing their minds as that airboat goes tearing through the swamp. Now, look at the trees in the background there, and we've got a weapon in the hand of, maybe this is Lucia and Jason, we don't know yet, but they do have a weapon on the left-hand side there. And look at the way they're sitting on the airboat. Very, very cool stuff. I have always wanted an airboat for GTA, and here we are. We actually will get one. Look at the water spray coming around the sides of the airboat, not the back. That is very impressive. Now, this shot, this is where things start to get wild. So if you're not familiar, the name of this area is not really the Everglades, but in GTA 6 lore, it's going to be called the Grasslands. Now, we can see quite a few different wildlife species here in this shot. We have flamingos right in front of us here. Very cool. We've got what looks like cranes there on the left-hand side. You've got an alligator kind of just laying there. You see alligators all over the place. If we scroll this forward, you're going to see an alligator just to the bottom left. You'll see one out there in the water on the left-hand side, 3 of them actually. And then to the right, you're going to see another one. And there he is right there. We've got deer in the water back there as well. I mean, there's a lot happening here. And then on the bottom right, there's some ducks there hanging out. Okay, so now we get the beach scene here, and look at this density. It is absolutely nuts. Fantastic stuff. Look at the distance, the drawing distance up the beach to the right-hand side. And then just above there is a helicopter. That is a Sea Sparrow. We're seeing the Sea Sparrow come back in action once again, and it looks like a Mamadas style private jet above that guy. And then that is one of the helicopters we've seen in GTA 5 on the left-hand side. There's a couple helicopters actually to the left. Now, there's a lot happening here. On the left-hand side, you can see we got some umbrellas. They say Soul Sisters Hotel on them. So maybe perhaps that is the name of the hotel that we are just outside of there. And you got a woman holding her arms out to get sprayed with sunscreen. How cool is that? Very, very good detail being shown here. There's groups of people partying on the beach. There's pet diversity and variety. I absolutely love to see it. And have a look at this. You got a guy, you'll see him a little bit later on the right-hand side there. He's got an orange can in his hand there by the blue cooler. And he's got AirPods in his ears, I noticed. So how cool is that? Get some AirPods. Little chihuahua running between the two people. You see the people in the middle there running down the beach. That's a little chihuahua between them, running with them. Very, very cool. On the right-hand side, you can see we've got a lifeguard truck with a trailer near the water there. So perhaps we could back the trailers into the water and maybe, launch a boat or a jet ski off of it. Very cool to think that that would be the case. And then we have an animated tube floating. It actually does move around. So maybe you can lay down in them. Who knows? I'm not big into speculation. I'm more of what we actually see here. And on the bottom right, you will see a lady bending over there, and a guy is taking a video of either her or other people on the beach. Hard to say, but phones are everywhere in this trailer, and you're going to see that later on. So the port scene, big things here to see. We got a 747 departing Vice City International Airport there. And then there are 4 boats in the scene that we can actually see. And then there's one behind it on the left that looks like a tugboat or a ferry of some sorts. So let's kind of pan through it here. We got some boats on the left-hand side at speed. And on the right-hand side is one that we've never seen before. Looks like a speedboat with kind of like the twin style hull on it there. So very, very cool to see that. And one thing you'll notice, and you'll miss it in a blink of an eye, is that the port is actually, if we rock this back and forth, look, it's animated. So that ship came in and it's getting unloaded or loaded. Cool to see that instead of just having a static ship in the port, it's actually moving, and there's a lot to see with that. Does this mean that cargo ships might actually come and go from the map? I don't know. Looks really cool to me. And that also looks like a China shipping line ship to me as well, with the play on that flag on the front of the bow. We see some volumetric clouds in the distance, and here we go. Get right about right there on the bow, right on the left-hand side, you can see the tugboat, or it's probably a ferry of some sort is what it looks like. Now, this next shot, things start to get very interesting with the lighting. You can see LED lighting on this car and the carbon fiber texture on it as well. We see a building with a bunch of different lights on it. Now, this kind of looks like the Kaseya Center that the Mambas would play, and the Vice City Mambas being the basketball team would play at. And if that's the location of this, we kind of have a good idea of where we are in Vice City. The night lighting is absolutely beautiful. Look at the light pollution hitting the bottom of those clouds, lighting it up. Looks absolutely fantastic. Again, LED lighting in the car. You see down by her leg right there? How cool is that? It's glowing. So there are LED lights in the interiors. The condos we're seeing right there in front of us there. Now, the one with the hole in the center of that there, that's the Marquee condo in Miami. And that's a whole set right along there. Look at the lighting on those buildings. It's absolutely beautiful. But let's rewind real fast here and have a look at these signs. Kelly County Vice City International Airport. This is an exit sign here. And then we have Stockyard downtown to the right. Now, that is based on Wynwood, because Wynwood is an area in Miami that we have seen in the trailer as well. And we'll see it later on. But Stockyard is probably what it's actually called there, with Catalan Boulevard on exit, looks like 18 right there. So on the left-hand side, we got Kelly County, Vice City International Airport, 404 West, and 97. So Interstate 404 probably a play on Interstate 4, and then 97 would be a play on Interstate 95 in the real world. So on the left-hand side, this is actually Jason and Lucia is what we're seeing here on the left-hand side, having the time of their life. There's a guy hanging out of this car, this silver car, kind of looks like a Lotus of some sort. I'm not sure what car that is. Hanging out of the side with his phone. And we have seen this, and you'll see this later on, but people hang out of the sides of cars a lot more than we ever saw before. There we can actually see Jason popping into view. So we can tell that it's Jason and Lucia. Now, scrolling along here, we can see a truck on the right-hand side. This is one of the newer vehicles. It looks like a Chevy step-side vehicle with a bunch of stuff in the back of it there, and a Carbonizer just in front of them going down the road. All right, we have the next scene here. Absolutely beautiful. I love this color palette they're using, and there's so much to unpack in this following segment. So at the top there, you've got a helicopter. It looks like a police helicopter. Might be green and white, might be black and white. I don't know which one they're using there. It might be a placeholder from GTA 5, the pull map from that. But we're looking at the police helicopter there, and if we move this forward, you see the seagulls just below having a good time. Look at the power line detail that we're seeing. Very, very insane. The little dips in it, even in the smallest amount. On the left-hand side, you got a Primo coming down the road. We've got like a Granger, one of the newer Grangers in front of us, kind of like a Chevy Suburban or Tahoe. But look at this one that pops into view on the left-hand side right there. Kind of looks like an Audi RS5 or something like that that we're seeing. Now, this is the Wynwood area in the real world, but it's called Stockyard, we believe, in this one. What we are seeing is the Design District garage in the background there here in the Stockyard area. Now, this vehicle on the left-hand side there looks kind of like a Albany Virgo to me. That is coming down the road on the left. And on the right-hand side is a Buccaneer slammed to the ground. And then we have a vehicle pulling in, another donk there. And we get the first sight of a motorcycle happening right there. But just in front of there, look at the light. That is a Stanier, the new Stanier. That looks way more like a Crown Vic. We see a sports bike here on the right-hand side, but just before we get past that sports bike, you got a guy sitting on the ground there, a homeless guy just kind of passed out against the wall. That looks like a Jubilee with the trunk open on it there. So very cool stuff. And then we move on to the Make It Rain Mondays here in the strip club, and we can see just to the right-hand side, look at the sparklers on the champagne bottles as they move through there. So this is a nice way to show off the lighting in GTA 6 and ray tracing everywhere you look. We move on to the next scene, which shows off the tattoo detail. Man, look at the detail on this guy's tattoos and the gold teeth that he has as well. And right there, look at the watch, the bracelet. Look at the gold chains, the detail on those gold chains. Very, very, very cool. Now we get a cool shot in the evening or morning. Looks like the evening to me because we're looking to the east here. In the real world, this is called the Venetian Causeway. The Venetian Causeway in Biscayne Island, and this whole little spot right through here is kind of a one-to-one recreation of it, to be honest with you. We can see a toll booth there. And look at that. You got a SunPass style logo above that car that's down there. That is kind of showing what will be a lore SunPass, which, you know, you can use to go through the tolls. But there's a lot here as well with the Yuga Classic down there. Look at that in the parking lot. I noticed the Yuga Classic was there and a Bobcat together. And then that looks like a bison just ahead of it there. But you can see the lighting on the ground, how it paints everything out. Now, something else to keep an eye on is not just the lighting with the clouds, not the 747 that we see on the right-hand side there and the helicopter on the left-hand side, but look at the vessels. Every vessel we see here is actually moving. When we move this back and forth, you can see that yacht on the right-hand side. Look at that thing moving out of the bay there. And on the left-hand side, those ships are moving as well. So a lot of moving vessels, including that massive yacht on the right-hand side. Another thing we can see is vehicles seem to be rendered at a greater distance than we've seen before in previous Grand Theft Autos. And I can see the cars moving all the way as far as I can see down this causeway. Now we get a beautiful view of the Ocean View Hotel and boardwalk here. And, you know, that's Avalon Hotel in the real world. And it even has the classic Oldsmobile Super 88 just right there. You'll see it. It's yellow and white, and it's showcased right where it would be in the real world. So really cool stuff. Now, there's a lot here to showcase as well. We can see the spiral lights on all the palm trees, just like they are in real life here on Miami Beach, on South Beach. And then we have, which maybe these are Parallax interiors, or this is an actual interior for the hotel. But in the top left there, you can see there's a lamp and a TV on in there. So really cool attention to detail when it comes to the front of these buildings here. Moving on from there, you'll see there's a guy taking a picture with his phone just in front of the cheetah there. And then we have a street performer, somebody on the right-hand side's got a bag and has got a energy drink there and a cap, but it looks like an iguana on his shoulder or a chameleon. It kind of looks like iguana to me more than it does in a chameleon with the back tail the way it is, but hard to say. But a lizard of some sort is on his shoulder, which is really, really cool. Love seeing that. So these people walking forward, showcasing a variety in swimwear. We're seeing a lot of swimwear, which we kind of, expected with it being the way it was. And we see Hotel Dixon in the background as well. Just insane detail when it comes to this portion of Vice City. Now, if you see the cheetah here at the very bottom, the classic one, the one in white, you can see that the license plate says cheetah on it, but above it, it does say Leonida, which helps us understand that this is the state of Leonida. Now, that looks like a Pfister S2 there, and then a Carbonizer in front of him. And then we see this green Pegassi on the left-hand side coming down the road. Looks like a Lamborghini Aventador. Looks pretty much like that. So that's a new Pegassi that we could possibly be getting. And on the right-hand side, you can see a blue Coquette just ahead of the guy with the iguana on his shoulder. Another thing I noticed is that the motorcycle that's parked there is at an angle. So motorcycles will be parking at the correct angles to have multiple motorcycles parked in one spot rather than them being straightforward. Another thing you'll miss if you don't look for it is on the left-hand side, you can see the fire in the tube right there. Those are those outdoor heaters. The next scene is a indoor DJ scene. It's a party scene, and this pretty much just shows off a group of peds hanging out and the lighting. I think this is kind of a throwback to, in Vice City when you would go into the club and you'd have the music playing and stuff. It was really, really cool. Okay, so I lived in Florida for 5 years of my life. And going down to Key West, you would go through this section of the highway. Now, this is Horseshoe Beach on Summerlin Key, looking towards Calusa Beach and Sandspur out there on the right-hand side. That is looks like a defunct kind of bridge that used to be there. And maybe we're seeing some stunt jumps happening on each side of that. You can see it's not completely put together there. It's like I said, it's an old, outdated bridge, and the new one is to the left-hand side. On the bottom, we have a beautiful Dodo seaplane with a gleam coming off of it right there from the sun. And in the center, at the top, as it moves up, you'll see what looks like a blimp there, kind of like that, but it's not. It's a Aerostat blimp. It's Fat Albert before they brought it down. And Fat Albert is a kind of like it looks not a weather balloon, but it's an aerostat that basically monitors borders in the Keys. And in the real life location, it would be Cujo Key. Now I'm going to rock this thing forward, and you'll notice that boats are moving all over the place here. We've got on the right-hand side a yacht that's moving. We've got a jet ski at the bottom there, but some boats that are just parked up. Looks like a smaller fishing boat possibly right there. And then on the left-hand side, we've got a more of a speeder-style boat that's moving fast through that section. And then we have some ferries and cargo ships. Now, at the port scene, we saw that one that was moving in the left-hand side. That is that boat on the left-hand side that has the red containers on it. So it's a container ship that is moving, a ferry ship that's moving cargo containers there. But the one just to the right of it is a ship that is moving a bunch of ocean containers as well. So really cool stuff when it comes to seeing the amount of different boats we're going to see in GTA 6. We've got a fishing boat just in the center of the screen there above the highway that we can see. And then some things on the left-hand side. If I back it up and go to the right, there's like a kind of like a, looks like a light of some sort over there on the top left island. Not sure what that is actually. But we can see there's a little smoke plume on the island just there. The biggest one that you can see just above the cargo ship, the blue cargo ship. You can see that plume of smoke out there on the beach. So this means that the Gator Keys are confirmed. They are in the game. It's going to be absolutely awesome to explore that and their iteration of 7 Mile Bridge. Another thing you'll notice in the shot right here is that the median between the lanes on the highway actually has a bunch of sand kind of through there and tire tracks on the ground there. So attention to detail on the median and on the road surfaces are fantastic. The coral reef looks absolutely beautiful, and these little tiny islands will be a lot of fun to explore as well. All right, now we move on to the next shot. We are on top of the hotels on the east coast of Vice City here, looking back at downtown and the bay back there. And we can see construction of a hotel on the left-hand side there. Not sure if that's going to, be be like the Mile High Club where it never gets finished, or they're going to do it in segments of updating the game, but they are working on it right there, as you can see. Insane draw distance on this. I mean, it looks really good, and it's in motion, and I don't see a lot of like popping or anything happening there. We got two 747s stacked up here on final into Vice City International Airport, which should be just to the right. So this is very realistic if they were landing to the west. As we scan through the shot here, you'll notice we have some tinted glass along the balcony here, and look at the weathering that is on the little ledge right there, and small little succulents or little flowers and stuff there on the bottom. Real small attention to detail that Rockstar's known for. And then we can actually see a closer shot of one of the outdoor heaters right there with a tube in the middle of it. Really darn cool. And then we have a hot tub that everybody's hanging out in. Look at the reflection of people in the hot tub, and they're having a drink. It's so good. And here's where you can see all the different varieties of sunglasses, man. That's going to be another thing I've noticed is accessories have been absolutely insane. As we finish out the shot here, you can see we've got a helicopter moving along as well. This next shot is a shot of the Vice City International Airport. Now, we know it's the airport because if you look to the left-hand side, you can see a radar installation there. And then we've got the tower itself. So this is the first look at the airport behind the Vice sign. Now, this Vice sign would be like the Miami sign that was used in a lot of different popular movies back in the day. It's not there in the real world, but it has been used in movies. This also shows off the volumetric clouds in the overcast layer, so the weather is going to be absolutely insane. Now we move on to Dad Bod Squad. This is the first time we're going to see social media popping up, and it's going to be a big thing in this entire trailer. But the Dad Bod Squad out here on their boat, and look at the ray trace. Look at the reflection of the water on the side of the boat itself. We've got animated flags happening here, and I'm going to move this forward a little bit, but you're going to see this guy is really sunburned, and so is the lady that has the orange. She's sunburned on the top there as well, and some others will be. So we can see that these people can actually get sunburned. In the background, you can see it looks like a 747 there, possibly two of them in the background there. So showcasing a lot of aviation. Love to see that for sure. And then, we can just see a giant party on the boat. All right, moving on, we can see this shot of a poach officer pulling a gator out of a swimming pool. And I love the attention to detail on the patio there, the little drain there and the vegetation. But look at the vegetation behind him. That is really, really dense. That is beautiful looking. I love it. You can see official poach there. That's their social media account, protection of animals, controlled hunting. And the officer in the uniform is based on the actual fish and wildlife officers. If I move this forward, you'll see there's physics in the pool, kind of where the skimmer is. Just to the right of the skimmer, you'll see the beach ball is bouncing up and down, and we got little coffee cups out there hanging out. But look at him absolutely yeeting this this alligator out of the pool. It looks so good, man. Now, the house could be part of the suburbs that we will see a little bit later on here. I'm not really sure where this is located at, but maybe this is the house that was in the Easter egg from the trilogy remake that we saw. Another thing to note, I love the sky here. It shows like a building rainstorm or thunderstorm. The sky is very, very believable, and we'll see something a little bit later on that might indicate some weather. Now, here's a shot of what looks like a new vehicle for Grand Theft Auto. It's the new Jaguar-looking vehicle here, and we got a lady up on top twerking, having a good time. And you'll notice right here, look at the physics of the hair. The person on the bottom there, that their hair is getting pushed back from the air. It's crazy. And they're hanging out the side of the window as well. Like I said, we're going to see a lot of that in this trailer. And if you watch for it, just in front of this guy, you can see a reflection happening on the mirror on the car. So there is reflection on the mirrors. All right, so the next shot is a sideshow kind of happening here. They've shut down the roads. This is in Stockyards, so this is real life Wynwood. It looks just like a intersection in Wynwood. in the real world. The night lighting looks absolutely fantastic here. I love the volumetric smoke from the donuts that you're seeing the cars produce. And if you look on the left-hand side of the pink car in the middle, that's a Stanier there, but that guy is holding a camera. It's like a rigged camera on his shoulder that he has. And there's people dancing on the car. On the right-hand side, you can see a car there. It looks like the Dometer ASP kind of hanging out on the right-hand side. And then there's a different looking car on the left-hand side, top left there. And it looks kind of like an Acura TLX to me. You can see the stop lights there. They have, or the traffic lights there. They are sideways, Florida style, and working, looking absolutely beautiful. And you got PEDs sitting on the trunk of a car and on the hood of cars. So looks like they're having a good time down there. This next shot of a fake Instagram kind of style post is showcasing reflective clothing there. And I've never seen that before. It looks really, really good. And I love the light pollution hitting the clouds underneath there. The multicolored lights on the condos and hotels. It is just absolutely beautiful. All right, the next shot is at a gas station. This is something that actually happened in the real world. A gator came in a convenience store. And the gas station floor, you can see that's the ray tracing we've been talking about this entire time. Hitting the ground there, lighting things up around it. It's absolutely beautiful. You got a giant gator coming through here. Now, one thing I noticed is that this gator is much bigger than the ones that we saw down in the grasslands earlier. There were smaller gators. So maybe multiple sizes of gators, or maybe this is just a one-off kind of event. I don't know. I love the little lottery ticket setup they got on the right-hand side there. The details on the counters look absolutely beautiful. There's a group outside filming the gator that's walking through the door. And we got a look of a CCTV kind of thing happening here with front door and the time. Above the main entrance of the door, you'll see a sign there. That's Go Postal. That's from GTA 5. All right, let's move on to the police takedown scene. We've got ourselves a fake-looking Axon kind of body camera going on here, body 3, and it's got the date of 8/4 on it, and we see a officer in plain clothes. Before we get to that, look on the left-hand side. We got Beware of the Dog with the Rottweiler there, and then you have, looks like No Junk Man or something happening there, and then below it is a mailbox that's overflowing. So maybe this is a run-down residence. That's what it looks like with a trash can on the right-hand side. And look at the cord coming out of the roof there over to the light that is being illuminated there. That is a real cool attention to detail. And we can see the leg holster on the plainclothes officer there holding what looks like an M4. Now, as he breaches this, you'll see the guys, and there's 3 people in here. One, when he kicks that open, that guy is hanging out. There's one to the left. There's one in the far back there. And you'll see we got another guy on the right-hand side, officer with a dual holster style, like suspenders going on there. And to the left is another guy coming in to view with a gun. And I love that they were in cover before they went inside the building. Look at the takeout or the thank you Chinese food bag happening there. Very, very cool attention to detail. And they move in for the takedown. So I love the animations we're seeing here. From what we have seen, the police are fantastic as far as how they actually will engage with people. So this is a new shot here, Planet Leonida Man. So, you know, Florida Man, that's what we're showing off here. Usually got to hit the strip club to see a jiggle like that for real. And this guy is running from the police right here in front of the Arrow. Now, what is Arrow? Arrow is a new gas station in GTA 6 that is based on Sunoco, you know, the racing fuel that NASCAR uses. And I can't make out what that says right there, but it looks like it's kind of an homage to the racing fuel of NASCAR, where it would be located right there. Another thing to note is we got looks like a Suzu truck or shuttle bus or something on the left-hand side there. It might be that one that we saw with the ramp on it, and I'll show you that a little bit later on, that had the tires on it. But there's like a Ram-style dually truck here at the gas station about to pull out. So that's a new vehicle as well. And then in the distance, we can see part of a skyline. Now, this is going to take a long time for everybody to go through every bit of footage of the trailer to start mapping things out. But it's going to happen. I am certain of that. And we'll find out where this is actually located. You can see ray tracing happening here. You can see in the puddles, you got people filming the man that's running. Really cool. And then a skyline in the background like I talked about. But the truck passes by here. Looks kind of like a Sand King with some mud tires on it there, but you don't see very much of it right there. It's really quick, and then it's gone just like that. And boom, here we are with the next shot of the General Custard Cannon. Only in Leonida is a crotch grab, an apology for bad driving. On the left-hand side, you can see a tow truck with amber lights that is going down the highway there. It says recovery there, and this thing zooms in. We get a look at the detail here on this Impante Ruiner, and look at that. It's got duct tape on the door on the inside of it. That's really, really, really cool. And we get a look at the sign there in the background, which shows 404 East and 404 West with the Sun Pass looking logo there at the top for the toll. And that says 404 East to the Vice Beaches, Port, Vice City, and then the Keys. So that would take you east to get on those roads to take you to those directions. And then on the right-hand side is yet again Kelly County, showing that if you go west, that's going to take you to Kelly County. Another thing you will see in the background, there's looks like a Pfister kind of logo happening there with one of the new ones on that billboard there. And there they go, the towing and recovering 24 hours tow truck going down the road. And we move on to the next scene. This scene has a green truck on it with a metallic wrap on it, and it says wrap it like it's hot. So I assume that that's what it is. And below the wrap it like it's hot, we can see the first time we see the logo for what's kind of like a fake Instagram in this case. I don't know the name of it, but you can see it right there. I love the shadowing in the trees you're going to see here. The reflection on the mirrors again. Look at this. Look at the reflections in the rear view mirror there and on the side mirrors. Very, very cool attention to detail happening there. And right behind here, it says Vice something on it, but below it says Ride Out Customs in Crosstown. So there's a lot of custom shops when it comes to car culture in GTA 6. So really love to see it. And look at this. This guy is ghost riding the whip. It says, Rip Rudy, see you in heaven, cuz yo mama's jammer, with that post as he is ghost riding the whip. And I would imagine that he probably didn't survive that stunt. What can you say about the next shot here? But severe sunburn on this guy's back. Again, we see peds with sunburn on them. Various body types that we've seen throughout this entire trailer of the different peds. This is just hilarious. But we can see vegetation, insane amounts of vegetation that we didn't see before. And look at that. You got a pop-up above ground pool, a cheap one at that. And what looks like, kind of showcasing the first person driving. Now, that house right there, again, not sure if it's parallax or whatever it is, but may have an interior to it. I don't know. Maybe you can go in there and rob them. Like I said, I don't like to be the one to speculate too much. So it's anybody's guess. Now we move on to the Thrill Billy Mud Club. Oh, yeah, you better believe it. Everybody's here at the Mud Club having a good time, and we have a lot to go over in this shot. First of all, mudding is in the game. Now, this location, was trying to find out where it was located. There's a lot of places in Florida, but this kind of points towards the Punta Gorda area, to be honest with you, based on the real-life Redneck Mud Club. If you look up mud clubs in Florida, this is the Thrill Billy Mud Club, so maybe it's a parody of that mud club, the Redneck one. I don't know. But in the background, you can see on the left-hand side, you got a cool truck with massive mud tires on it. But behind it, where this guy has his hands up, as he moves to the right, look at that. You got one of those vehicles that has a big platform on it that people can sit on to go mudding through. So that's right there. And then there's another one to the right of her head here by the porta potties as well. So a lot of different mud vehicles here, ATVs, you got side-by-sides, you got jacked up truck. Now there's a little bit of a back and forth out there about this particular scene here, and people think that maybe these are younger kids that are playing in the mud, but to me it looks like adults that are just halfway down in the mud, if you ask me, wrestling with each other. Pedestrians themselves get mud all over them. So that's something to keep an eye out on is, you can get mud all over your body if you go through a swamp or something. Really cool. As we pan to the right, we see this red, white, and blue truck in view by that bridge over there. And we see he's got two different flags on the back of the thing there. All right, moving on to the Karen video. Now, this is a reference to a Karen video where she had the hammer in her hand, the hammers in her hand, as she was just acting crazy. But hilarious to see it here. We're seeing ray tracing like you wouldn't believe. I mean, things are lighting up all over the place. Love the lighting here. And it says here, Lucha Libre fan live. Neighborhood watch, don't play around in Hamlet. And Hamlet, if you didn't know, Hamlet is Homestead, Miami, like that area south of Vice City. So this is in the suburbs of that for sure. And she doesn't look like she's very happy to see you. And she says, oh, look who's back. Now we move on to the party scene. You can see right here, when this guy starts to fall, look at that. He's holding a beer, and you can see the beer spilling out of the top of that bottle. And then he comes crashing down. Boom. You can see the legs give out on the table as it comes down. This could be a cutscene or something like that, but it's really impressive. Look at the texture of the beer flying everywhere out of all of those different cups. And let's back it up again because you might have missed it. Look at that. You've got yourself some elevation. Looks like a hill climb happening there. So I don't know where this is located at. Florida is very, very flat. And we have seen, there's mentions of domed hills and some other things, but this is kind of strange, right? All right, moving on to this shot here where we are basically, I can't figure out where this is at. This might be to the north of Vice City, since the cars themselves is it says Leonida County on the side of it. You can barely see it, but it says Leonida County Sheriff, which is based on Broward County, which would be north of Miami in the real world. So that's what we assume it's kind of where this is located here. But check it out. We can see the new Stanier in action, and it looks way more like a Crown Vic than it ever did before. And we can even see the police lights, red and blues, on that thing. And we'll get to the thing it says on the left-hand side there in a second because it's hilarious. But on the right-hand side, it says Evergreen or something like that is the name of this strip mall on the right. And we can start to see some of the stores that there are. I'm not sure what the top one says, but there's Kowalski, Callis, Scala, then you got something. But on the left-hand side, you got Angstapan there, America's favorite dissociative. It cures emotions, and then it has the whole rundown of everything and looks kind of like a Pfizer style logo there. But as this car goes whizzing by, look at here on the left-hand side, there are those mirrors, and you can see the car go whizzing by the mirror. Look at that in detail. So these mirrors absolutely reflecting what they are seeing there. And then here comes the newer style Explorer, and doesn't have a ram bar on it. So you see the back just barely there, but very cool to see law enforcement having much more realistic cars. As we move forward here, you're going to see more of the suburbs. So after this last shot of him going by, you see the houses on the right-hand side there. It looks like a suburb. And then as it moves on and it opens up right here, you even see more of those. So I don't know where this is located at. Like I said, this might be the northern portion of the map, the northeastern portion that we don't know a lot about. Hard to say. But I don't see a massive skyline in the distance or anything like that that would showcase it being the case. And you can see Lucia looking behind her, got the money in her hand, and not sure what that building right there, the red building is. I don't think it's Hank's Waffles because that would be up there by Port Gellhorn. But they're making a left-hand turn and they're getting out of Dodge. Backing things up really quickly here, I wanted to showcase, man, you can just see the humidity in the air. Look at the visibility at the very bottom there. That is just a really, really good attention to detail. All right, we have Weasel news right here. No overturning zone. Cop arrest man who flipped his car after Pee-wee's dine and dash. Now, this is the only time we see any crash physics in the game, and you can see the cars overturned, the trucks overturned here. A lot of damage, a lot of stuff thrown all over it. Looks like that sidestep kind of truck and maybe threw a bunch of stuff that it had in the bed out. But look at the detail here in front of us. Now, if I back it up, or if I go forward a little bit, you'll see that truck on the right-hand side. That's the one we saw in that opening shot that had the tires in the back as well and had the ramps on the back. So that's definitely one of the new trucks for sure. And now we can see what appears to me like the FHP style, but it would be a Gauntlet Hellfire or something. But the FHP colors of black and tan, Highway Patrol, all right here. Even have a working traffic advisor bar happening on the back as well. Another thing you'll see above the destroyed barrels is this guy in his car, and he's got his arm out of the window. We've been seeing that a lot in this trailer, but again, here we are. Looks really, really good. And a motorcycle happening there. And then you've got a van driving away as well. If I back it up right here, you see it looks kind of like a Greyhound style bus or a coach bus happening in the top left as well. And we move on to the next shot here. Have a look at this guy. He is like being interviewed or something in the department, the corrections here. But if it happens really fast. But if you back it up, have a look. See here. This is the Vice-Dale County Sheriff's Office. And if you look at the emblem there in the middle there, it's a lady looking out in the distance. You got a snake coming down the tree at this. Looks like a kid being pulled in by an alligator right there as well. Look at the hair color on this guy, the physics of the hair, the tattoo detail. Man, it's absolutely incredible. Look at the blinking that's happening. He's got his eyelids even tattooed. And now we can see that fake Instagram that we were talking about before at the bottom left, Mega Mundo News. But it is a heart in the center of a not complete square. Next shot, you can see we've got, it looks like trailers for the first time with a front porch attachment, or maybe they're just smaller homes in what looks like Little Haiti or something with the flag in the background there. But look at this. You got ATVs doing wheelies. You got Sanchez doing wheelies there. And then we've got people on the right-hand side filming this. We see people filming things all the time in this trailer. Even on the left-hand side, you see the same thing happening. And this leads to the next shot, which is right here, and that is dirt bike dirt bags. Cops fail to stop thugs on motorbikes terrorizing Vice City. Something you'll see that's scrolling at the bottom there during this is Leonida man sucked up in waterspout demands the city buy him a new suit. So, does that mean that there will be water spouts, tornadoes? Not sure about weather phenomena, but that is interesting that they left that in the trailer. This is the first time we see the Vice-Dale County unit that is on scene there. It's a different livery on it than we saw in Leonida County, and we haven't even seen Kelly County at all. But we can see a lot of other things here happening. We got a Banshee in the top left. It looks like a kind of a middle of the road, kind of older gen Ram there, the green truck there. It's kind of hard to say from this distance, maybe a Fudo happening in front of it. Look at all the bikes coming through here, going nuts. Absolutely crazy. We got a Fister, you got the Comet there, the classic, and then you can see the light bars. And there's that beautiful Florida-style double light bar action. You've got the light bar on top, and then you have the visor lights as well. Another thing you can see is that the cars have roof numbers on them as well. And it looks like a different vehicle that's on the top there on the right. That's kind of like a champagne color, but it looks like it's a convertible. Now we move on to this shot of the High Rollers lifestyle. And again, massive now is the logo of the fake Instagram. High Rollers mag hanging out here. You got a guy pointing at the camera. I love how his arm gets lit up by the light off of that taillight. You see a green PMP 700 on the left-hand side. And as we scroll through, look at the detail in the taillight right there. We also get a nice view of the license plate. It says Leonida over the top, just like it does in Florida. The same kind of livery. And then in the middle, instead of having an orange there, it looks like it's a gator. This is a close-up of the step-side truck, and you can see on the right-hand side, you got, looks like albums hanging out there. It says Sound for Sound on it there with some, like a roadie case happening. And then on the left-hand side, things get kind of strange here. You have North Waning Sands. So not sure what the waning sands are, but that's the direction towards it. And then in amazing fashion, you have the lawyer billboards that are very common down in Florida. Who hurt you in the background? Love the night lighting. Love the side style traffic lights. And then his shirt, Righteous Slaughter Blood Ops. Now we are at the robbery scene where we see Lucia and Jason running away from the back of the store, and looks like a tackle and bait shop, kind of. You've got some buoys hanging, or some floaters thing happening there. You got a bucket down at the bottom. You got rods and reels happening there. You got nets, all sorts of cool stuff there. CCTV camera above there. Look at the attention to detail of the electrical tubes that run to the lights themselves in the ceiling for the drop ceiling there. Man, really, really cool stuff. You see a piss washer 9 ad there on the left-hand side. So Pisswasser is definitely back as a beer. As we move forward, you see the new E. Cola logo happening right there. And Spread the Fizz. Very, very cool. And then you're going to see all sorts of stuff on the right-hand side as we go by. We have some other brands of beer. Hard to make those out, but you got, it looks like Lavazza's or something like that there. I'm not sure what the one, Benedict down below. And then as we move forward, you'll see Baracho. We've seen that before. And from Baracho, you'll see Blarney's down there on the bottom right. On the left-hand side, you can see a bunch of different shirts hanging up. You got small, medium, large, XL. Really insane attention to details. Looks like kind of like Smuckers there on the bottom left of jellies. And at the very top right, you have lager beer. Drink the American way. All right, next shot here. Lots to see for sure. This is the first time we get to see the physics in action. I'll let you see it in real time. Woo, that is beautiful. Man, absolutely awesome. I love the weight that the cars seem to have to them in the corner. So lots to talk about in this shot. So we are in Port Gellhorn. This is not in Vice City at all. We can see on the left-hand side a new style Dubsta SUV, an Obey SUV. I'm not sure what the one to the right of that is, but beyond that one on the right-hand side, it's like an older Ford, kind of like an old rusted out Ford happening there. Very cool to see more vehicles. That's the pawn and gun shop right there. Not sure if that was where they were coming from, but you'll see on the right-hand side as this car comes around the corner, we'll see Lucky Plucker for the first time. Look at that right there. And then as we go by, Lucky Plucker sign just above the Port Gellhorn pawn and gun sign. Lucia is actually hanging on to the frame of the window as they go around the corner. And also her ponytail is flapping in and out from the wind. That is so cool, man. Absolutely awesome. Let's back it up a little bit more. As the car comes forward, it hits the curbing there a little bit. And you can see how the car drives up on the curb. They're still burning rubber around the corner. And this is really cool. Look at that. You can see the mirror on the car reflecting her arm as she goes by. As the car makes the right-hand turn, you see that is Leonida. It's like a classic plate on it right there. And right there, you can see it says something about Arrest Andrew something. Arrest Andrew Node. I'm not sure what that says, but cranky hippie there. You got some, you got a peace sign sticker there. I love the realistic speed limit signs that you see on the left and right-hand side. Speed limit 55. Looks a lot more closer to what you would see in Florida for sure. And in the distance, it says WHS, we have shoes sign. And they won't be beaten on price. And as the car drives away, you see that the leaves kick up and are animated. Now we move on to the motel scene. You can see them hanging out in here and look at the wood paneling, the detail that's on there. Looks really, really, really good. And then the texture on the canvas of the painting, look at the detail on that. As we scroll forward right here, look at the detail on Jason himself. You can see he's got a scar kind of by his chin down there. And then on his left ear, you can see missing spot there, which is basically an earring hole. You can see where he's had an earring in his ear before. And now we move on to the Uncle Jack's liquor store scene. This is really cool. Uncle Jack's loyalty there on the left-hand side, possibly a loyalty membership deal happening there. But one thing you'll notice when they kick these doors open, just like this, the bottom watch, you see you've got dust kicking up from the door itself. Very cool attention to detail. I love Thaw at the bottom right instead of White Claw. It's like it's a play on the White Claw thing that says down there where Lager Light is just to the left of it. And then a new beer company on the left-hand side, Pendeo Cerveza, is sold here as well on the left. I love the green kind of like wow looking sticker that's handwritten on a special they have going on that's very common in those areas. It says, we will no longer accept cash stored in underwear. And then it says Petty Forever, which is really cool throwback to the song they're using in the trailer of Tom Petty. Now I'm going to back it up again. You'll miss it if you don't look close enough, but right above the car, that looks like just to the left of the vegetation, that looks like some sort of a hill or a cliff or something. I don't know, but it does not look like Florida, does it? Not in the slightest. It looks like you have like a some sort of hill happening there. And then to the right of that is the trees. Is that the domed hills? I don't know. As we step forward, they bring the guns up, and you can see the seagulls in the background, the birds there. And wow, attention to detail is insane. And the lighting on these two. Fantastic way to end the trailer. And now you'll see the Grand Theft Auto 6 logo reveal. And if you're a fan of Miami Vice, you will notice that they animated this logo to do the glow, and there it goes away just like that. That whole glowing thing right there is very indicative of Miami Vice. Love the logo. They went with a massive 6 behind Grand Theft Auto. It looks absolutely incredible. Well, there you go, folks. That is a breakdown of the trailer of trailer number 1. We don't know whenever trailer number 2 is going to come out, but I am super, super excited for this game. You better believe it. So let me know what you thought of it in the comments below, not just GTA 6, but also the trailer breakdown. And like I said, I probably missed something. Let me know what you think down there or what you have discovered yourself. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.